Recently, we got a tiny nugget of an update about the status of Villeneuve's big screen adaptation of Rendezvous with Rama. I would say that out of all of his upcoming projects after Dune Messiah, his Rama film is perhaps the most anticipated. This particular story, this Arthur C. Clarke novel, Rendezvous with Rama, Denis Villeneuve has been attached to for quite a long time. And honestly, the adaptation itself has been in the works for way longer. When this first started being talked about and getting off the ground, it's been in the early stages of development for a lot of years. And it's definitely one that a lot of Villeneuve fans are the most excited for, especially because he's such a visual filmmaker, which he talks about all the time, that he wishes he could convey the most complex things just through images alone. And if he could create a movie, a silent movie, and have it conveyed through those images, then that's how he would do it. He's not huge on dialogue. So I'm really excited to see him take on this hard sci-fi, this very visually stunning and mysterious and grand scale epic sci-fi film. I think it definitely would be more in line with Arrival, which he has described as being Arrival on steroids, this adaptation. So currently, we know that Denis Villeneuve is furiously writing the script for Dune Messiah. He really felt the responsibility to finish what he started and to complete his dream of also adapting Dune Messiah. So he's full on working with that, and that is his current priority. He's also attached to numerous other productions, but my hope is that Rendezvous with Rama is next on his list. We still don't know about that, but we do have confirmation recently that it is still in the works, that he does still plan to do it. So this is an article from World of Real. In a recent interview, I think it's a video in French, he talked about his desire to direct Rendezvous with Rama, and here's the quote. There's a possibility of adapting an Arthur C. Clarke novel, Rendezvous with Rama. Like 2001: A Space Odyssey, it's about astronauts coming into contact with another civilization. It's an exploration where we engage with technology that could realistically exist in the future. Unlike Dune, which leans more toward fantasy, for the first time, I'd be able to work on hard science fiction. I'd love to do that at least once in my life. I think it's interesting that he's worked in these varied styles of science fiction, with Blade Runner 2049, the cyberpunk-esque, and Arrival, which is kind of similar to this particular story, Rendezvous with Rama, so there'll be some similarities there, but definitely more towards exploring the alien civilization in detail. There will be more of those hard science fiction elements for this one. And then Dune has always been that line between science fiction and fantasy, which is why I think it's pretty cool that it's as much fantasy as science fiction. That's kind of cool that he has dipped his toes in a lot of these different kinds of styles of science fiction, and that he has that desire to work specifically on this particular story for its hard science fiction elements. And I think he's very particularly suited with his style of filmmaking for this story from Arthur C. Clarke. It is very much light on the interpersonal relationships, on the characters' journeys. There is those human elements where they are trying to figure out how to plan for this incoming alien object going through the solar system. It covers the human response, but as far as like interpersonal character relationships, it doesn't lean very much into the character-driven parts of it. It is very much leaning into those hard science fiction elements, covering this team and exploring something so alien and so mysterious and not really finding answers, just more questions. I think he's suited well to just let the imagery instill that sense of awe and mystery of the unknown and questions that will have to be unanswered. Maybe one question or two, but definitely leans more into all of the stuff that we just don't know. But it's going to be a visually stunning epic, and I think it will just set his imagination on fire. When he was talking about the kind of film's style of storytelling, he just would love images to just speak for itself and let the audience interpret it how they will. And I'm really interested to see who he will bring on board for his team, whether or not he'll reunite with Greg Fraser for this. Greg Fraser, of course, is working on sort of a similar story when it comes to the hard sci-fi elements and human responses with Project Hail Mary. So maybe they'll reunite for this project because he's not going to be able to work on Dune Messiah with him. We'll see how that works out for both of them because they're both so busy. Definitely grand scale, visually epic. Even though people may have mixed feelings about Blade Runner 2049, you can't deny that it was beautifully filmed, stunning images throughout. That's just how he likes to work. That quote from Deadline from Denis Villeneuve says, "Frankly, I hate dialogue." And this is him speaking to the Times of London, who was doing this interview. He said, "Dialogue is for theater and television. I don't remember movies because of a good line. I remember movies because of a strong image. I'm not interested in dialogue at all. Pure image and sound, that is the power of cinema. But it is something not obvious when you watch movies today." I'd say that's definitely controversial when it comes to you're adapting a literary source material. So many incredible lines of dialogue in Frank Herbert's story of Dune, but there's also so many visually stunning elements that do convey a lot of the subtext and inner dialogue that is in the source material, but is much more effective in being conveyed visually. That's just how he sees it, that he prefers the images and sound to speak the most for whatever story he's trying to tell. I admire that approach for sure. Just from his films alone, the images stand out, I think, the most to people. When you're adapting Dune with the most iconic lines of dialogue, even if people don't know anything about Dune, they're probably familiar with the litany against fear. Fear is the mind killer. There is so much power in dialogue, in the writing, and I think it's a significant portion, obviously, of filmmaking. And I can't deny that the sandworm design when it comes to Dune and a lot of these other images, Getty Prime and the eclipse sequence in Dune Part 2 and the sandworm ride sequence, done very well. Spice harvesting sequence with the sandworm swallowing the harvester. And Denis Villeneuve's interpretation of Dune, that is Arrakis. The way he was able to bring these strange worlds and to immerse the audience in that way visually and to transport them. I love the Caladan scenes with the Emperor's entourage. But in Dune Part 2, I will applaud Denis for that one sequence where Paul Atreides is accepting of the mantle of the Mahdi and Lisan al-Gaib. Incredible dialogue there. I love that. And visually stunning images to accompany that. When all of these elements can marry together, you definitely would want that. But that's why I think that Rendezvous with Rama might be more particularly suited for how he likes to tell stories. It is definitely not so much the dialogue and the characters' journeys apart from the human response to the alien object. What stands out to me when I read it is just when they're exploring this incredibly large, mysterious remnant of a lost alien civilization and only just barely scratching the surface with so many lingering questions. Those descriptions of what the astronauts are saying as they're exploring, that's what really stands out to me when I read it. So that's why I'm really, really intrigued by this Rendezvous with Rama film. And that's why I hope it's his next project after Dune Messiah. So hopefully that's soon on the horizon as well. So this is an encouraging update. Also, back in September of 2024, he said that he is currently working on Rendezvous with Rama. So it is in active development. It's just slowly, I guess. He said the screenplay is slowly moving forward. So that was the other update in regards to this particular film adaptation. So there is a screenplay that is being worked on. Currently, it's slow going, and he likes to take one project on at a time for himself. So he's definitely embroiled, well, he should be, with Dune Messiah at the moment. I'm not sure exactly who is working with him on the screenplay. It could be Eric Roth. I think Eric Roth is working on another story that Denis Villeneuve is also attached to. It was the sci-fi romance film adaptation of Bo Young Kim's short story, I'm Waiting for You. He said that he was working on one that involved space and time and loneliness. And at the time, everyone thought that it was Rendezvous with Rama that he was talking about. But I think it was confirmed that it was a separate project. This writer of this article, I don't know if he's got insider information. I haven't heard confirmation on this elsewhere, so I'm not sure. But he's saying that Eric Roth has written the screenplay for Rendezvous with Rama. I have yet to see that confirmed on other sites or anything. I couldn't find anything else on that. But I do know that Eric Roth was attached to that I'm Waiting for You film. I like Eric Roth. He was working on Dune Part 1, so hopefully he'll return for Dune Messiah at some point. I don't know. But yeah, to have him work on Rendezvous with Rama, that would be a wonderful collaboration, I think. We'll see confirmation on who could possibly be involved. Denis Villeneuve is very tight-lipped about ongoing productions, and he'll just tease about other upcoming things, yes. But once Dune Messiah is out, or maybe during press for it, he'll have decided which project he's doing next. And my hope is that it's Rendezvous with Rama. So we'll see. I think it would be an amazing, visually stunning film. And again, just I think is perfectly suited for Denis Villeneuve's filmmaking style. I think that's a good match there. But I'm curious to know how you feel about the idea of Villeneuve at the helm of a Rendezvous with Rama adaptation. Do you think his visual storytelling style would fit well with the spirit of the source material? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more sci-fi and fantasy news, theories, and lore. And if you're looking for other ways to show your appreciation, you can check out my Patreon page, where members get access to exclusive content and perks. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.